We're live. We're live, Bill. We're on.
Morning, people. It's
Yep.
nice to see you.
Thank you.
I lost my glasses. That's why I'm late.
You know, that sounds so easy.
You know, I'm
Wait till you get to be built.
it's, you know, I have my locations. I go through 4 locations and none of them there.
Anybody else, before we start the meeting, have any directives for Bill here before we get going here?
Yes, for everybody, please make sure you turn your mics on.
I'll call this meeting of the DeKalb County Council in order. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. We'll begin with an opening prayer from Bob Kraft.
All right, let's pray. Father God, I come to you this morning and ask that you give us wisdom and discernment as we do the business of the taxpayers. We thank you for the opportunity to serve, and we just pray that you'd keep that foremost in our mind, that we're here to serve our community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Would you please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business we have is approval of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections?
Move to approve.
Pardon?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Thank you, Amy. Motion by Amy Prosser. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bob Kraft. Any further discussion? Not, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the approval of the March 11th, 2026 minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next, we'll go to appropriation of transfer requests. The first one we only have one additional, and that comes to us from Developmental Services, and the fund name is County General, and the fund number is 1001. The amount requested is $600. Was this included in the annual budget request? And the answer is no. The reason it was not included was unaware of the increase per contract. How will this appropriation be used? Payment for zoning administrator per contract for planning services for Butler, and it'll be reimbursed by Butler. Is this a reoccurring expense? The answer is no. Will other expenditures be necessary? And the answer again is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? Yes. And that liaison was Bill Van Wy. So we have a request for an additional for $600. Do we have a motion?
So move.
We have a motion by Bill Van Wy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Amy Prosser. Any further discussion on the $600 additional appropriation request?
We do already have the money from Butler, in case anybody wants to know.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the additional $600 request from Developmental Services for Butler signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is, or the additional is approved. Next, we have 2 transfers. The first one is from Superior Court 2. Fund name is County General. Fund number is 1001. And the amount to be transferred, again, this is a transfer, is $2,795 from account number 22410, which is legal reference material, to account number 44410. The account title is courtroom furniture. The amount requested is $2,795. This is for the purchase of courtroom furniture, emergency need. Account for that purpose was not funded in the budget. Will additional appropriation be requested due to the transfer? The answer is no. And was it discussed with the liaison? And that is yes. That was David Yard. And this is to replace some badly needed furniture here.
Is that in the courthouse, in their
in the court.
Jury,
Yes.
okay.
And this is, again, this is a transfer. The money is there, just transferring it from legal reference to the furniture. Okay, do I have,
What was the question that Bill asked?
was it jury?
Oh, it's in the, actually, in the court itself.
It's in the court itself.
Jury seating?
Yeah, jury seating, yeah.
It wasn't in the budget before?
Was it requested?
No, it wasn't in the budget?
No, I know we talked, I don't remember if it was this courtroom or one, but we talked about replacing some jury furniture last year. But I know,
I would say it's not because it says it is an emergency need. Account for that purpose was not funded in the current budget.
okay, we need a motion to approve first.
I move to approve it.
A motion by Bill Van Wy, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Rick Ring. Any further questions or discussions on the transfer? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of transferring $2,795, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is granted. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next one comes from Title 4D. And fund name is 4D Incentive, fund number 8897. The amount to be transferred is $2,500. It is from account number 44420, computer equipment, to account number 34140. The account title is software maintenance, and the amount requested is $2,500. Why is this transfer needed? It is to cover new cloud-based storage, initial one-step setup fee, a one-time setup fee of $3,603. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? No. Do we have a motion to approve the $2,500 for Title 4D?
Was that the cloud storage? Did we just get something for the prosecutor's office? Is this tied to that? Some of the,
Positive, I don't believe that, I believe the prosecutors is different than the courts.
okay, because there, I mean, we did just do a whole new computer-based
Yes,
storage and,
that,
Did it for them and the public defender
yeah.
for the body cam because it was taking so long to upload everything, and then everyone, it's more accessible.
Okay.
Before
I
it was
think that's
put in one spot, and then someone else needs to review it, then it had to be uploaded to another spot. This was on one platform.
I just wondered whether or not this is something that, a new system that we got, or does it have anything to do with the Oddity system? I mean, a lot of the court stuff is already state
the Odyssey,
driven,
I don't know.
but it's not new money, it's just transferred from another part of their budget, so it's not a problem, but.
I make that motion to approve the transfer.
Okay, we have a motion by Bill Van Wy to approve the transfer. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Amy Prosser. Any further discussion from the council?
I got a question. I mean, they already had money in this account, you just didn't have enough to,
They're just transferring it to the account they need to pay
yeah, but they,
for. However, I don't even believe that this needed to come to you guys because it is their incentive fund, and by statute, they don't have to appropriate it, but they do appropriate it for our benefit because it's better to not see accounts in the negative.
well, I appreciate if you're listening, I appreciate that you're doing it, bringing it so we're kept in the know, so.
Any further discussion items? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the $2,500 transfer in 4D signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer request is granted. That takes care of additional and transfers. We have a list of non-approval transfers, which again does not require council approval. And next up is, we're a little ahead of schedule. Commissioner Dooley, are you ready?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
The packet in front of you that Susan gave to you. So about a month or so ago, I was out in the front, out the yard down there, and I saw how bad the cannon is. You can see through the pictures that the cannon of the memorial down there is in pretty rough shape. So I had Larry reach out to a couple of places. Atlas is the only one that got back to us about restoration on it. As you can see, the restoration of it will cost about $29,000. They're basically going to fix the cracks, drill down to the base, fix the cracks, fill it in, come back up, plaster across it, and then give it a good paint for the cannon and the monument. I'm kind of here today. I plan on trying to do it through donations. I have a couple of meetings set up with the Legions here in the county. I have a couple of personal people I'm going to reach out for some donations on it. But to keep with the timeline of getting this done by July 4th, have a little celebration for it. I'd like to come to you guys today to ask for some money up to $40,000. I know it's 29 here, but just to cover any kind of things that pop up. We're going to want to also drill into the back of it, put a time capsule for the 250 to be opened up in 50 years. The other paper that Susan has handed out to you is the time capsule I'm looking at. It has 10 smaller time capsules inside of that time capsule, which I'm going to give to each community. Like St. Joe will get one, Spencerville will get one, Butler will get one, Waterloo will get one, and then they can put whatever they want in that small time capsule. The county will have one also, and then we can put it all in there, and then in 50 years, they can open it up. But we don't know if it's hollow or if it's solid inside, so making that hole is going to be an extra cost. We're not really sure yet. That's why I'm asking for the little bit of extra onto it, just to be on the safe side. Like I said, the original plan is to have donations pay for it all. But to get this process moving, to get these going, so the timeline's good, so I can order that time capsule. I talked to the lady there at Heritage Time Capsule. She is very busy because everybody wants a time capsule for the 250. So I don't want to miss out on that. Make sure we get the time capsule in time, so that way I can get to the communities in time, so they have plenty of time to put whatever they want to put in there. Any questions?
Will they be able to clean up that front plaque too, where all the?
Well, that's going to be a little extra. I have Knox Painting is going to look at doing that. I think he gave a quote for about $1,500 to do the fence and to restore that plaque and everything. That's why the little extra is in there, to kind of do these little extra things that pop up.
Is this an official memorial to World War I or World War II soldiers? Or know what the designation for this is? Historic?
It was built before World War I believe. So I think it's the wars before then. The cannon actually was on loan from the military, and we're supposed to give it back to them if the military ever needs it. I don't think they're going to need it, but I will follow up with them to make sure. So,
I don't know. Iran, you know.
It just says DeKalb County soldiers.
yeah. I think it's just a memorial for all the soldiers from DeKalb County. I don't think it's any particular area, but there's a lot of details to it. Mary Deal and I have been working with it on this and looking into it. So
I mean, it definitely looks rough. I mean, if we're going to have a memorial to our soldiers, it should look better than that.
And I agree, and that's kind of why I started looking down the process for this. And then I think with the 250, we could put a time capsule in the back, have it open up in 50 years, put a shelf in there, so that way if they want to do another time capsule for 50 years, they can pull it out, put it right back in. Because there's 2 time capsules out there now, but the records of it is kind of hard to find, and we're not really sure where they're buried at. They're somewhere in the ground. So this way is in the back of it with a plaque over that says, here it is. They know where to hit into and get it.
No,
You know,
because
the last time there was, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, they opened a time capsule up when they did some renovations on the courthouse 15 years ago, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And that one's
Records
already
of the
been
time
opened
capsules
up.
is hard to kind of gather. So my thought is to put a plaque on the back that says, oh, right here, smash in 50 years. It's right there. So there's no confusion. Well, they have to tap in gently.
Okay.
My question is, would it just be cheaper to replace the cement, as much cracks that it got into it?
Well, they're gonna look at that because they don't know what the base is after you get past that plastic. They don't know if it's all concrete in there or cinder block or what. But this is what they said would be the best way of doing it. The other two companies that, that Larry reached out to, I believe, didn't give a quote at all. Like, they didn't want to touch it, so.
And this Atlas is the one that did the restorations on the pillars?
Yes.
Out on the four sides?
They're the ones that have to do with most of the restoration for our courthouse.
Last time there was any work done on any sort of restoration?
Nope.
So we probably don't know how long this would be.
Well, I know I'm talking to Larry, I believe, he thinks the last time they kind of just filled in the gaps and then painted over it. This is gonna more get all the way down to the base of it, fill it back, fill it up, and hopefully it lasts much longer.
So are you just asking us to cover the cost if you don't raise the
Correct.
donations you need?
Yep. Like I said, I have meetings with all three legions. They've already very interested in it, so I have meetings with them, but they're not until the end of the month. I want to get the time capsule ordered, make sure we have enough time for everybody to get it taken care of and stuff like that. I also have a few individuals that said, hey, let me know what you need. I'll write a check for you. But I don't want to put a bunch of money in there and then it just sits there because it has to be spent for that. So I'm going to ask them as like, hey, we're a little bit short. Can you cover that part? But for right now, I have at least the funds to move forward, and then this will backfill with the donation.
We need a motion to pick up the balance here then.
No, how would you want to state that motion? Are we gonna cover the cost and then ask for donations, or are we gonna make the motion to cover what we don't collect in donations?
I think we'd need a motion to cover what we don't collect.
I would make a motion that we pledge the difference between the cost and the donations that are received for the restoration of the cannon.
Okay,
Do we,
You up to a certain amount?
yeah, I mean,
29,000.
Well, I'm gonna go with this quote, go with this quote of what, 29,000?
On the back of the second first page, yeah.
he had asked for 40,000, but he didn't think he'd use some, so most of it. I think we ought to put a motion in there that at least say up to 40,000 and not beyond, because the fact that if it overruns a little bit, you don't want to have him come back in here real quick and get money.
I don't see the 40,000 anywhere.
The 40,000,
Well-
this is only for 30, but to do the time capsule is another, I think, 15 on there. There's also the restoration of the front plate that Knox Painting's going to do, and the fence around it. And when we drill in, the shelving might be a little bit more. This is just an estimate on it, because we don't know what's solid or hollow inside. So that might add a little bit onto it too. So I just want to make sure we have enough funds in there.
All right, I'll amend my motion and make the limit 40,000.
Where are we requesting?
General fund.
General fund.
Okay,
From the auditor's budget, yeah.
we have an amended motion from Rick Ring for $40,000 maximum on the Cannon Time Capsule Restoration Project. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Bob Kraft. Any further questions or discussion from the council? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of $40,000 maximum budget to make up any differences here for cannon restoration signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you
have
very
your
much.
money.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kellen.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the lead on this. That's a great project to do out there. It really is. Okay, next.
A quick question.
Yeah, Amy?
I know that it looks like it's been in some disrepair for a long time, and I think it would be good to add that, somebody to check in on that on a yearly basis, adding that to maybe the maintenance plan or something for courthouse, maybe that added in as a constant. We're just monitoring that every year.
Bill Van Wy has graciously volunteered to do that.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I think,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
with Larry's, that would fall in Larry's.
I was gonna say it should fall under Larry's.
Job description. He's got all of the buildings now, but that's just one of the,
It wouldn't hurt to have somebody from the council keep an eye on it. You still
I'm
wanna
not
do
the liaison. No, I don't care. I'll walk and look at things. I'll have to do it with Larry, so he explains things to me. But, you know, I can get to him at least gonna do it in summertime. I'm not gonna do it in wintertime and everything.
That'd be great.
Because that way we'll have something checked on and we can come back and stay ahead of the ball game, is what I'd like to say.
well, and it's not just but it does fall within Larry's job because, you know, it's not only been this cannon, but, you know, we just recently restored all these 4 pillars around here. Prior to that, they restored around the sidewalk, the ledging around the courthouse, and so,
the generator.
yeah. Which, you know, that generator, that looks beautiful out
It does.
there, and that stone masonry was donated by a citizen here in the county, so that, the county did not pay for any of that. That was all done by a local citizen's donation, and it has really added to the attractiveness of the courthouse.
Well, in 50 years, Bill, you can open a time capsule. You're at a loss of words. I've got.
Put him in the time capsule.
Hey, if I die before that time capsule is done, cremate me and stick me right in there with a signature.
We'll put you in the muzzle of a cannon.
And this is your favorite councilman of 2000 and whatever.
Okay, moving on, Randy Fox, airport update.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Randy.
Thank you. We did approve a contract for the new T-hangers, which are actually going to go in the space where the church was. The fence that surrounded the church, separated them from us, is going to be moved out to the berm or the road, whatever the appropriate clearance is, and then the new hangars are going to go in that space. We're pretty sure that we will not see the entire life of this loan, that we'll pay it off early, but we have a loan that's what's done. Lunch on the fly, I said last month that it was supposed to start this month from 11 to 1 on the third Friday. Sweet Aviation puts a little soiree together in the main hangar, and you can get hot dogs and hamburgers and fun stuff, I guess. And then our meeting follows at 1 o'clock at the terminal building. Our taxiway project is pretty much complete. There's still some grading issues and a couple lights that need to be sunk so that you don't hit bumps when you drive down the taxiway. And I have a report from Sweet Aviation every month at the board meeting. Scotty, helper from Sweet, gives us a IVP of their operations. And we, of the low lead, which goes into this light airplanes, in the month of February, they sold 2,096 gallons of fuel at the airport. Most of those airplanes will hold between 25 and 40 gallons. So somebody's been filling up somewhere. We had 90 total transactions to do that, and self-serve, 15 people flew in, taxied up to the pump, stuck their credit card in, pumped their own gas, and probably left. That was the month of February, and we didn't have a lot of traffic that month. Jet A, for February, we sold 15,350 gallons. We've got 24,000 gallons on site, so we did probably almost 2/3 of our total supply on site for February. And then the main hangar, if you go to the terminal, you go in the front door, The main hangar would be off to the south a little bit there, big doors you can see open. We have 19 hangar tenants, 4 of them are jet aircraft, and 15 are general aviation. The flight school did 39 training flights, 18 simulator sessions, 1 check ride, 8 rentals, and 1 discovery flight in February. So the suite guys are busy. They have done wonderful stuff for us. We're very happy with them and their services they provide. They're a little distressed because in 2027, again, we're going to be closed for at least 2 months when they mill up the runway and replace it. But it's just the cost of doing business and staying in business for the next 30 years. And with that, I'll take any questions.
How did you say the luncheons are on?
11 to 1.
And when do they end? They end in September, October?
Yeah, I think October is when they end.
Third Friday.
Third Friday, yep.
A week from then.
I can't look at my calendar. Oh, that's all right. Third Friday.
You can come anytime between 11 and 1 or after
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yep. Walk in. And of course, they've always got a donation thing if you want, but if you don't want to, the food's free and I think we've had, 25, 30 aircraft have come in to the point where the ramp was really tight. But
Randy, are there any plans for a fly-in or anything like that this summer?
not that I know of at this point. Everything's been under construction for so long that we weren't looking out for those kind of things. We didn't really know, the construction on the T hangars is going to start anytime now. Actually, we've told the people, the B and C rows of the old hangars down the far end, those are going to be leveled probably in December of this year. We've told the people that are in those hangars that they can reserve one of the new ones, and we hope to have everybody out of the B and C row by December, and then raise those then, which makes space probably for a corporate hangar if somebody wanted to put a larger aircraft on site. That space would probably qualify for that, because that would keep it back out of the runway protection area. But no, as far as the fly-in, I missed that. We did it a couple years ago. Had a great day. Honestly, I'll ask this weekend or next week and just see if that's something we're looking forward to.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for Randy?
A couple years ago, you guys had the Ford Tri-Motor
Yes.
come in.
Yes.
That seemed like that turned out to be a really good event. Are you guys, and I know that I talked to the pilot afterwards because we want to come back here. Is that anything you guys have talked about?
I haven't heard that. Usually that was in conjunction with the fall auction.
Okay, right.
And they would fly in, and during our meeting, the last time they were here, of course, we could look right out on the ramp. I think they loaded 4 times during the hour and a half that we were in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They would bring that down, load up about 6 people, kick 6 people out, take off and fly around and come back again. And Russ said it was like that for like 3 continuous days. So it's been a long time. I was still an active pilot when they started coming here, and I haven't done that in a long time.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for Randy? Thank you, Randy. Great report as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
I need to add in, anytime, Erin Potter from Alliance Industries. She had requested to come speak with you today. I don't have her on the agenda.
We're ahead of schedule. Is she here right now? Okay, Aaron, you want to come on up, please?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Erin Potter. I'm the Executive Director of Alliance Industries. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I want to thank you for your support and the approval of the funding that was allocated to Alliance. This funding is more than just a contribution, it's an investment in opportunity and growth in our community. It helps extend our services and continue our mission of providing meaningful employment opportunities to adults with disabilities. One of our biggest challenges is finding the right balance between the number of individuals we serve based on our work volume. And this funding helps narrow that gap by providing the resources needed to deliver, accurate supply chain forecasting so that we can kind of plan for the ebb and flow of the manufacturing industry. We currently partner with 8 manufacturing companies right now: Reiki Packaging, Fastenal, Eaton, Deco, Hendrickson Distribution, ZNF Active Safety SCP Limited, and we've recently formed a new partnership with Reiki Dispensing, which is out of New Albany, Ohio. So all our partnerships provide the material and that allows our team members to produce hand-assembled products. Alliance offers our team members the opportunity to work at their own pace and within a boundary of security. And it's based kind of on their strengths and their abilities. So this funding also ensures that our direct support staff is supported and they receive the specialized training and resources that they need as our production team grows based on our work volume. We currently serve 42 team members, and in 2025, we were able to hire 8 new team members from our waiting list, which is now down to 22. We don't receive any federal or state funding, so the funding needed for everything outside of our team members' earnings is obtained through multiple fundraising avenues like grants, fundraising events, and private and corporate donorships. All of those things require a significant amount of time for planning and stewardship. In 2025, through collaborative partnerships with organizations such as DART and the AWS Foundation, we were able to provide a reduced bus fare for Alliance team members to get to and from work for a year. Through a partnership with Three Rivers, the Heart Association, and private donors, we were able to purchase an AED and provide CPR and AED training for our direct support staff. And most recently, the Community Foundation gifted us the funding for pneumatic height adjustable work tables so that we can make sure our team members who use mobility devices are ergonomically supported throughout their workday. Our Wreath Festival last year, this is our biggest event, raised just over $40,000. And I think that's the most we've raised since I've been involved. So we're pretty proud of that. And through our recent fundraising efforts in 2025, we were able to reduce our debt by 47%. So we've been working really hard. Nonprofit work is never done alone. It's built on partnerships and compassion and determination by like-minded people who believe that together we can create a brighter future. Last year and so far into 2026, we've brought on 6 new board members. We have a total of 10 now. We've got countless committee members that include family members, friends, and former board members. So our leadership team's truly a network of community members working together. And they're all contributing to the success that we've experienced here. Today we celebrate not only the support that you've provided, but also the trust and the confidence you've placed in our organization and its leadership team. We promise to honor that trust and ensure that your support has the greatest impact possible. So when you begin planning for next year, please consider Alliance and the momentum that we're building. These funds allow us to move forward with purpose so that we can strengthen what's working and fix what isn't and build something even better than what we had the year before. So I assure you that these funds will be used responsibly with clear goals and careful oversight and a commitment to delivering real outcomes so that all of our community members have the opportunity for meaningful employment opportunities. So, you know, at its core, it's about people, ensuring that families feel supported and that our services remain reliable so that our county continues to be a place where all individuals and businesses can thrive. So thank you for believing in our mission and for standing with us as we continue our meaningful work. So thank you for your time and your leadership and dedication to our community. So stop by Alliance anytime and visit. So,
A quick question.
yes.
The 47% reduced in debt, was that over a certain year?
It's just the debt that overall.
Overall,
since-
okay.
Since I've been there, so.
Got it.
How long have you been the executive director?
I've been there for 3 going on 4 years. So,
Aaron, I want to thank you for your work. Being a part of the nonprofit landscape and world in DeKalb County, I've really seen Alliance flourish over the last 4 years and grow much stronger as an organization. I think a lot of that's due to your leadership and getting new board members, and that's part of a thriving nonprofit. So thank you for doing that.
thank you. Appreciate that.
And
So,
I just want to add, Aaron, I've been familiar with Alliance for many years there. It's been a bright spot in our community there, and appreciate all you do. You got that nice new addition on there now and everything, and it's really come full circle. It's a bright spot in our community. It really is. So thank you for all you do and your group.
thank you very much for your kind words.
Is this for DeKalb's residents, or is it, you do it for other county residents?
Other counties as well. We've tried to kind of expand our reach into Allen County a little bit, northern Allen County. So we've got some individuals that live there.
Excuse my ignorance. I don't know much about this. I mean, and that's why I'm asking. Because,
Oh, that's fine.
and these what companies you suggest? I know some of them's in DeKalb County, but they're not all in DeKalb County, right?
Correct. Yes, Hendrickson is in Noble County,
Yeah.
Hendrickson Distribution, and then Eaton used to be in Auburn, but they moved their division to North Carolina, and they still ship us our parts. So we're proud of that partnership still.
Was that something you can work inside your own building and stuff and do your
Yep, they
setup?
Yeah, they ship us the materials, we assemble it, and then we ship it back.
Hey, thank you, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. Real quick, our chicken noodle dinner fundraiser is coming up on Saturday, April 18th at the Horsemen's Association from 4 to 7. So I have flyers and raffle tickets available, so if anybody wants to take a look at those and pass them around. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have the annual jail report for 2025 from Sheriff Thomas. What we need to do, does anybody have any questions regarding it? Hearing none, if somebody would like to make a motion for acceptance.
I'll move to accept.
We have a motion to accept the jail report by Amy Prosser. Do we have a second?
I'll say it.
Second by Bob Kraft. Is there any further discussion, questions, or anything regarding the jail report?
I do have one, and I just was looking to see if it was in this report or not. I've read a number of different things about the jail here in the last couple of months, and I wasn't sure if it was in this or not, but, I believe that once again, that we might have been cited for not having enough staff in relationship to the number of prisoners that we've got. It's just something to keep in mind when it comes to doing the budget for next year.
Didn't see the.
Well, I said, I've read so many jail reports over the last 6 weeks that I wasn't sure exactly where it was, but
We'll make a note of that and keep that in mind in budget time.
there is a note about adequate.
Yeah, it was 2013, staffing analysis
Right.
was done.
So it's just something to keep in mind, and you know, with the fluctuation of, you know, we still haven't met on a regular basis the 80 prisoner limit that that the commissioners have designated. There was a period of time earlier this year where we were getting close to that 80 prisoner limit. And it's essentially, if you look at that report that the jail commander gives us every week, it's because the state is finally taking their prisoners that have been sent to or should have gone to state prison. They're finally starting to take those. And that number's down to about 15 or 16 right now. But the number of people that are in the jail that have not been to court yet is running right around 63, 64, 65 every week. So, you know, those are people that, you know, we can't send them anywhere. We can't send them to community corrections. We can't send them to another jail in order to reduce the prisoners in there. They've got to be held here.
And those are prisoners that could
Have
reside,
not been to jail.
but they could reside in other counties too.
Are-
Do they reside, some of them reside in
Oh,
other
yeah,
counties?
they could,
because-
it's just that they've been arrested and they have not been to court yet.
Right.
But if they're in our jail, I'm assuming they're going to our courts.
Yes.
Again, the state is finally taking the prisoners, which really caused us a big population overrun, I guess. We did what we could to get people out of there by assigning people to community corrections. But, and when we're holding those prisoners for the state, you know, they're supposedly paying us, and that was up pretty high at one point. It was over 200,000 that the state owed us. I think that's down. We've been getting those payments in.
I think we're pretty much
Yeah, so that's a good thing, because for almost of last year, it was well over 150,000 throughout the year.
Rick, I don't know if you know this, or are you the liaison for the jail, or is there somebody?
Yes.
Okay. I know that guards for the jail probably is a high turnover position already. Is ours higher than other jails? I mean, that staffing issue that you talked about, is it?
I'm sure it is, but not that we've discussed.
I mean, I'm sure it has to be high turnover no matter where you're at.
It,
That'd be a fun job.
it's not a topic that the sheriff and I have discussed lately. But it used to have a high turnover. But we raised the pay so that we were able to keep people a little more often. And, you know, it used to be that being a jailer was the preliminary step to becoming a road officer. So, you know, we're not just if we lose them, we may not be losing them just because they don't want to work at that population, but they found a job or been able to transfer into regular police work.
And I made a note that we'll address the staffing analysis at budget time, so thanks for bringing that up, Amy, a 2013 study.
I see the number of transport miles, which I've never noticed, 64,000 miles. Is that from transferring people to?
If they go to state prison, we got to take them there.
Yeah, okay, that's what it
Well,
is.
it's not just that, it would be every transport that they
Over
have to
to
do.
like Noble County or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, I know just a month or so ago, they went to Oklahoma. And, I mean, it's every transport that.
Oh, they didn't take a prisoner out there for a week.
They had to go get one.
Had to go get one. Yeah, I figured that. And the other thing I was gonna ask is, Mental health, where do they take those prisoners to if they're court order mental health, you know? On the back page, they have three there, I just, huh?
Northeastern Center has some services, because we've discussed it in JRAT.
But yeah, but are they, so they can hold like a prisoner, or? How is it, okay.
I mean, be able to assess the situation and figure out which avenue is where that person needs to be, but there are services. We don't always have to take them to Fort Wayne like we used to.
Okay.
And that's the, you know, as they talked about when Steve was here last month, we have the crisis center out here now so that they can go to that crisis center and not have to go to the jail. Before, we didn't have that. You either took them to the emergency room or you took them to the jail, one or the other. Now we have a third option, a better option, actually.
I had a question about the state dollars that come in. What, do those go into a fund specifically then for the sheriff's department? Do they go into the general fund? They go into the general fund?
Yeah, because we pay. We have to pay for something.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it, thank you.
Any further? Kellen?
As you know, you guys talk about staffing out there. I know that the new jail design that we have from Elevitis has built in, so that way you have less staffing to do with the new jail design. So as you talk about staffing, maybe talk about when we're gonna start moving on that new jail also. Because I don't wanna hire a bunch of people and then the new jail gets built in and then that has less staff because it's the way it's designed that way. Just throwing it out there.
If you look at the most popular design right now happens to be one that the commissioners had Elevitis do for us several years ago. But if you look at the ones that that Elevitis has already built, there is a station above the cells that you have one person that's able to observe all of the cells. It's in a semicircle, rather than having to have multiple people because of the design like we have. I mean, you have no way to observe all of the cell areas. And hopefully they've built so many of them now, hopefully they've worked the bugs out of whatever that design that they've come up with. But I think they've built 5 or 6 in Indiana already, so.
Any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the question. All those in favor of receiving and accepting the 2025 annual jail report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jail report has been accepted. Next item we have is the acceptance of the first quarter commissary report submitted by the sheriff.
Report by the sheriff's department.
We have a motion by Amy Prosser. Do
I'll
we
second.
have a second? Second by Rick Ring. Any further discussion regarding the commissary report? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of accepting the commissary report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Commissary report has been accepted. Moving on to council discussion. First item is budget guidance, and I would just like to remind everybody that the salaries and everything connected with it is left to the council. That's a council decision, and there's no action on that at the present. We will as we get to budget time. Maintenance job, okay, moving on though.
So
Yeah.
that's the salaries is, we'll fill those numbers in, but what about the?
Well, yeah, we've got the supply services and the capital outlay there. And basically, that's any account that does not begin with a 1. And we need to come up with a number for guidance for the employees to start thinking about adding to, cutting to their supply services and capital outlay. Rick, anything you want to add?
I certainly wouldn't go over 3%, but, and the DLGF has been limited to the growth quotient to being no more than 4 for the next year again, so, 2.5% to 3% should probably be the max, because you don't know, even though all the changes in the state, local option income taxes and property tax, we don't know what all those effects are right now. We do know that there's gonna be reduced amount of dollars coming to us. They're not gonna cut us, but we aren't gonna go up. We aren't gonna climb as high as we would have in previous structures.
I saw today the governor may suspend the gas tax. So that could be a shortfall of revenue coming to there possibly. So do we want to come up with a number here for the office holders to try to shoot for, knowing that that could change, subject to change?
I don't know, I mean, it's, you know, and those things that we're talking about, the 2s and the 3s, a lot of that is gonna be dictated by what maintenance contracts and service contracts we have with these other companies, so.
Which could be more, could be less.
Yeah, exactly. Because all of those companies that we're dealing with are dealing with increased fuel costs and things like that, so. I would say make it 3, make it a 3%.
Does that need a?
We can always, we can always, at the time that we're looking at the budget, we can always add to it, but.
We could do that with consensus from the council? Does that need to be a vote?
For
3%?
Well, I would think we would need to vote on it here.
Yeah.
Okay, hold this thought. So this is just guidance that my office needs to provide to all of the department heads when they're building their budget. At budget time, council can add, but they also can take away. So you can give them 3%, but like if we don't know that there is a contract that is going to require X amount of dollars for that year, we probably should know about that so that you guys don't reduce it. But if they ask for some 3% in a different account that does not have a contract, you guys are able to reduce that. Because you say 3% as a suggestion right now, that does not mean that you're keeping 3% in those categories.
And this is not a hard, fast number. This is just for guidance purposes only.
Correct.
And it would be a consensus from the council if we wanted to go 3%, but it can change. And there's still so much up in the air yet regarding monies coming to the counties.
Well, and the department heads should know, if they're gonna get a big increase from a vendor, they should know that, and we should have that information coming from them, that it's going to be a larger increase than what we're wanting.
And I think it should be up too, because there's a lot of those lines, those smaller lines, different office supplies and stuff, a lot of times that they've kept flat year after year almost, and just because they aren't spending that much. So I hope, we don't want them automatically to put 3% on everything, even if they don't foresee spending.
Right.
I agree, Bob. I think asking for no increase on those lines where they have been able to not spend those dollars and just be honest and say, yeah, we didn't spend all those dollars last year, we don't need more, then let's not do that. I am very concerned about what that is gonna look like, our tax dollars coming in with, so, very concerned.
Well, and don't forget, some of these things we'll have no control over.
Correct.
Even though
Scarier.
the state Supreme Court has said that our probation officers are state employees, we're still required to pay them. We're still required to give them their benefits. We are still required to pay at the rates that they've established. You don't have any choice.
Correct.
So there's a number of things like that
So with
throughout the budget.
With that in mind, I just think we need to be very conservative on this end so that we can make sure that we're able to pay our employees the dollars that they need.
What would you recommend? A flat line then, Amy?
I would recommend a flat line at this point. I mean, they're gonna come in and say, hey, this contract absolutely is going up, and, okay, we can't do anything about that, then absolutely we'll pay that, but requesting that they keep those lines flat from last year where they can. And then if we can, in my experience on the council, when we say, well, we'll start here, we never go backwards. We always go up. So I would say, let's start at the very minimum. Let's start at keep everything flat from last year unless you absolutely know. And then if you do come back and say, hey, at budget time, this is gonna be more expensive, paper went up, okay, then we can raise that. But let's start with very conservative because to Rick's point, we're not sure what it's gonna look like next year. I'd rather be more conservative now, and then at budget time, okay, we can spend a little bit more.
Historically,
need-
we've been able to advertise high enough in the beginning that we are able to cut.
Okay, so.
My question is, can we add to it? If you advertise a certain number, can we add to that number later?
Okay, so let me back up. So with what Amy's saying, which I completely understand, if they have something that they absolutely know is going to increase, when they present their budget, they have to tell us at that time. Because I'm not going to advertise an inflated budget for every single account. I've only ever advertised higher in personal services because the wages are always something that it takes a while for you guys to decide what you're doing. I don't ever advertise extra in any of the other accounts. So if they aren't telling you at budget presentation that I have a contract that's gonna be XYZ, which is more than it was in '26, that account is not going to get advertised inflated for that next amount because I won't have any idea about that.
So we can cut what you've advertised, but we can't add to what
Correct.
you've advertised.
Correct.
So that's the important thing to keep in mind.
Well, I agree with her. You know, we should keep it as 1%, 0% growth. But if you got something that you want 3% or 4%, when it comes to budget time, come in and explain and give us a good reason why we should support. And then we will set the salaries when we get done with everything to what we have money, if we have the money there. But I'd like to see them come in, as many of them come in as zero growth, I hate the word I want, zero increase, except for maybe, that, hey, I'm gonna have to change some computers out. So I'm gonna have to have another 3-4% to change computers out because this is our rotation. If you listen to everybody, you should rotate your computers out every 5 years. I don't know how close we follow that, but, you talk to Farm Bureau and anybody, they said you should throw your computer away every 5 years and start over again. And but I'm just saying that as an example, but I think we should keep it as close as zero and says, if you want something at 3% growth like that, come into our meeting the first time, explain it to us so that we can understand it or look at it, so that our second set of meetings, we can say deny it or say, okay, we gotta have it this way.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a vendor increase. I mean, I remember the coroner one year, we had way more deaths and she had to have more body bags. I mean, that's something, it's just, they look at their last history and say, oh, well, this is up, we're using way more of this, so I had to increase this. I mean, that's a trend that they can explain to us over the last year. It doesn't have to be a vendor contract necessarily, it could be a trend.
And I will strongly suggest that each one of us talk to our department's head very seriously about this. And tell them this is what we're gonna do. We don't know what the state's gonna do to us. We could be walking into a wall, and if you wanna keep your salaries increasing, your benefits and everything, make sure you try to do what we ask. I know it's not always possible, but I would like to have every one of us make sure we discuss everything with our liaisons with our department heads as we move forward.
Can I say something real quick? So in the past 2 years, when we have been in the middle of our budget sessions, we have really, really good department heads and elected officials. They provide a lot of information. I have heard feedback from them where they put a lot of time into what's being asked of them. So their 5-year capital needs plan and other things like that. And they have felt that they turn it in and that's all that happens. They turn it in, we ask for it again, and they feel like they're wasting their time or spinning their wheels because it's not really looked at deeply enough. And I'm not saying that's necessarily our fault, I'm not saying it's their fault, but I think that when going forward, we really need to pay attention to that because I think that a lot of them try to give us good insight as much as they can. I mean, there are a lot of contracts, 90% of the contracts that we have here, Susan's responsible for, we don't necessarily know. So the elected officials or the department heads may not know either. But maybe going forward, that's part of the reason that Susan had requested this. We can give them that guidance. If they know they have X, Y, and Z vendors, maybe they can reach out and see if they can get familiar with that first. Then at budget time, I really think that all of us need to really dig in and deeply listen to that. Sometimes I feel like they come in and those days are so jam-packed that we really are, just spinning our wheels. I feel like we really need to understand that we might not be able to just say, yep, you're here. Oh, yep, I see that increase. Thanks for stopping in. Because they do put a lot of time and effort into that. And I don't know if we need to maybe change how we do those sessions. If you all have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. I know Susan would. Her and I have talked about this numerous times. So if you think of anything that would be better, so that way when we're prior to being at that session, if you've all talked to your departments and you have recommendations with them, you can get with me and or Susan, and maybe we can help dive into that a little bit better. I just want to make sure that we're putting in the same effort that they're putting in, and that way neither one of us are frustrated when it comes to budget time.
Jody, I can definitely see that capital because we asked for that capital, but we don't decide when it's done. So they kind of have to drive it and say,
Yep.
okay, we really need to do this capital improvement this year, maybe the next one the next year.
The reason that it needs to be laid out in some type of an Excel spreadsheet with timelines on it and being able to mark it off when it's done.
I think too, I think it's a great idea, Rick, is some kind of an Excel spreadsheet that's trackable, and if that was in our, where we keep all of our documents and stuff, so that at any moment I can go in and look to see something. I don't know how that worked, what that looks like, but I know in the space study too, they mentioned that at any time we should be able to go in and kind of look and see what some of that information, and I keep track of it, so I have it, but it's not always in Excel. I love Excel, and I think it's a neat way to track it.
It is something,
Those are
Amy,
good
that
suggestions.
was in the budgeting and finance meetings that the AIC has provided for all council people, commissioners, auditors. That has been something that they have been promoting now for almost 15 years. And we've been trying to get there, and we still aren't there. But it is, and it needs to be set up in such a way that there should be one for dollars that come from cumulative cap. That should be in there with all those expenses. But if it's things that are gonna be bought out of the highway fund, that's a whole different spreadsheet. Don't mix them up, because it confuses that you think you have $10,000 in there, but actually, well, there's only $750 in there. So but it's gonna take a lot of time
We
to get there.
separated them. I have those. I've separated, I've provided them. Nothing happens with them. So I've done that multiple years and separated them.
I think having them
And we don't have it.
earlier, so that I always feel very rushed as well during budget season. It feels very like, hey, we just want to get in and get out. But having that ahead of time, being able to talk about it is helpful. And I know there's usually, you guys are good about getting them out in a week or two, I think, usually. But it feels it feels very rushed.
I feel that there's a lot of departments that are not visited by their liaisons and actually understand.
Okay.
So if all of you would actually meet with all of your departments and actually understand that department and their needs, I think that the days would be much smoother. Because you're always asking me, well, do you know why they need this? I have my own department.
Yeah.
I know a lot of what everybody needs, but I can't answer every single questions that you guys ask me because they're not my department.
Are the budget presentation days, July 15th and 16th, we move that back a week? What's the budget presentation days? It's not on our regular council time. I remember because I'm going to be out of
It's,
country.
The ninth.
I have the 15th and 16th.
have the 15th and 16th.
Yeah, because we moved it from the 8th and the 9th, and I told you guys I can't be here. I'm out of country then.
On the 8th and the 9th.
No, on the 15th and 16th. I called in Dave that day and told you. Did we move it back to the 8th and 9th?
And I still have the 15th and 16th on my calendar.
Me too. About 5 times, but you went back to the
You
15th and
did.
16th.
We could not get everybody in agreement.
So, we're deciding what we want to do with this. When are we going to have Jeff Peters come up? Has anybody, anybody reached out and say, you know, we'd like to see what your point of view are? Are we waiting to see what the final numbers that are coming out of the State House? So we know what.
I have provided them all of their reports that they are needing, so they're working on the fiscal plan. It's not ever ready by April.
Right,
And
yeah.
sometimes we have it in May. I will ask. But yeah, I mean, he comes every year.
I think it's May.
Yeah.
I think he came last year in May.
Well, is it July, whatever, the month of July, is that our presentations?
The, whether or not this actually happens this year or not, I know that the cities and towns have been having meetings around the state right now because they would like to see the county lose part of their local option income tax ability and move it over to the cities and towns. Want to take us from a 1.2 down to a 0.7 and then add to what the cities and towns are able to do. Not a good idea, number one, but these must committees that are being set up to where we'll have to meet with the financial officers of the cities and towns to determine some of these local option income taxes. There's right now, AIC is putting together a list of the information that we need to have, not only for ourselves, but also for the municipalities in order to sit down and make some of those evaluations. It's 2 pages long and it's very detailed. We will have more detail with what's being asked for than we've ever had in the past. That's going to be one of the advantages of going to this. And Susan, I don't know if you've seen this or not yet. If you go to the the district meeting, AIC district meeting, you'll see some of this, and it's going to also be presented at the Budget and Finance Committee meeting or training before that meeting. But it's an extensive amount of information that's needed. Because if these must committees come together and they decide how they want to divide this up, county councils have a veto. It has to be 100% unanimous. It can, and because you're going to get into a room with 6 or 7 or 8 financial officers. In some counties, you're going to be 15 or 20 financial officers plus 1 county council member. It has to be a unanimous decision. So whoever that person is, and it's most likely going to be you, Dave, as that representative at that committee meeting, you need to have this information and have a good understanding. Because we could lose, I mean, we'll be on the, there's not a lot that the counties do that we can reduce. We got to pay probation officers. We have to run the jail. We have to pay the medical expenses of people in jail. We have a sheriff's department that has to be there. We can could reduce some of those services, but it's unlikely that that's gonna happen. All of the services of the people in the courthouse are things that are being offered to the entire county. We can't reduce so much of what we're doing. Not so sure that that's the same case with cities and towns. If they don't have the funds to provide X in the parks, then that may have to be reduced. But you can't reduce the jail. You can't say, I'm sorry, we're full, nobody comes in here. Or you need to go, you're a prisoner that has to have medical care. Sorry, can't take care of you. We don't have a choice. We have to provide those services. So, it's being a county council person is more than sitting here for 2 hours once a month. If you're not spending a good 15 to 20 hours a week going through, talking to your people, reading and educating yourself, you're not doing your job. That county council is going to become one of the most important, if not the most important, function in county government because of your control over the finances. You've got to spend the time. That's it.
Good points, Rick. It seems like every year as we get closer to budget time, there's more uncertainty from the state. And this year, I think there's probably the most uncertainty I've seen in many, many years here as to just what kind of money and where it's all going to come from. And I just want to thank Susan and commend Susan and Jody, because I know when we start at the last minute asking for changes or to find this, you guys are up 24/7 just about making all these last minute changes there. And there's a bunch of them. And it probably will be this year. Again, as we don't know, we have the uncertainty from the state on money here. So I think everybody needs to keep in mind that they are on point, making an awful lot of changes at the last minute at the request of the council. But so let's try to come to some kind of consensus here. Whether we want flat line, whether we want to look at a 2%, 2.5%, 3%. It's not a hard, fast number. It just means that we come to consensus here to look towards that, to give the budget or the office holders some kind of direction, knowing that it could all blow up.
I'd like just recommend it if keep your supplies and your stuff to just close as 0% growth as you can. But if you have to have some growth because of things going up due to the different things, put it in. But keep it as close as zero so we know that we have some money for salaries and stuff as we move on, that we have an opportunity to keep more money in for salaries and other things. That would be my recommendation. I mean, we know it, like we've talked about, we know we don't know what's going on, and it's true, we don't. I mean, but I'd like to see as close to zero as you can. Let's not jump it up there too high, because at the end of the day, we got to make sure we got money for salaries and other issues.
Making
Not a motion, just a suggestion, and we'll go with consensus then.
Gotcha.
So, Bill, again, just the Reader's Digest short version.
Oh, Reader's Digest, what is that? Yeah, no, I mean,
What I think he is saying is he would like to see all of the budgets have a 0% increase unless, one, in the wages, we are state mandated to increase it, because sometimes we are with probation officers, prosecutors. Certain positions have a state mandated amount. So if that state mandated amount increases, that needs to be in there. On the other pieces of the budget, if you know about a specific contract, or if you know about a specific contract that has an increased amount from 26 that you need for 27, then we need to know that, and probably it would be nice if we had that documentation with the budget submission. Or if you have a, like maybe the assessor might have a huge increase that she's going to have in postage not necessarily have an actual contract, but
Something's trending up.
so that,
Well,
then that should be in there. Otherwise, it should be a 0%.
yeah, well, you also have like the, police officers, the surveyors, the planning commission all run vehicles. We know what gas is doing now. I'm surprised we're not in here with more additions. We might be towards the end of the year. But that's gonna have to be an increase in it. As far as I'm concerned, they don't need to put anything in for their salaries. We will look at each individual office and when we can increase that to what we can, which will be across the board. I mean, it just won't be a 25% increase for the council and 2% increase for the auditor's office, but that I'm not worried about. It's the other supplies. They need to know, okay, we run these vehicles. It's the thing I'm gonna stay with the vehicles, because the gas is what, $5.19 up to Ashley, if I looked at it, not $5.19, that was diesel, $4.19 up to Ashley yesterday, so that increased. I have two types of vehicles. And so we got to, we got to think of that too, because we don't think if this keeps going on overseas, our fuel ain't coming down and everything. And so we got to look at that. And then, like the commissioners, they'll have the insurance deal and stuff. We have to know what the insurance is coming in and stuff, what it's going to cost us and everything.
This price of gas right now is going to affect the amount of money that we're getting for the highway department. And that's, and we're talking about this year's budget. And probably ought to be able to figure out what we're getting in the highway funds every month. Is that dollar amount going down or not?
I think,
Some people will stop buying gas, other people will not, so.
I think we're at a 0%.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I mean,
I think
and the
that's-
thing of it is, if we
can all agree.
if we want to go up, we can move it up a little bit at budget time, at the first meeting, say, okay, we have a chance to raise, we just need to look at it. I'm not going to say a chance, but we need to look at it. And when they come in and talk to us and say, hey, I have to have stamps. Well, the stamps supposed to go up 97 cents here pretty soon, ain't it?
yeah. I think to me, the bottom line is, we just don't want to be blindsided with big numbers here at the last minute. So, with the office holders have always done a good job of keeping the lines, guidance airlines flat or whatever there. They've done a good job. But, and Rick brought up a good point, and I think Amy did too. We as with liaisons, we need to be discussing this between now and budget time with our groups that we represent here, so we're not blindsided on huge expenses. And the big thing for office holders, if you have contracts and stuff, call your vendors and try to get them pinned down. Are we looking, what kind of an increase coming up there? So on Bill's recommendation here, do we have consensus of keeping things flat? And we can always change at budget time.
Unless they know of a contract or a trend.
Correct.
And they need to present that contract or that.
Correct.
See, all heads shaking, so we have consensus on that, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last item we have is a maintenance officer position. We have a job description that needs approval. Bob, do you want to address this, or?
Yeah, it's actually, they redid the maintenance job descriptions for those staff under Larry, and they basically are making them similar because they do a lot of the same things. However, there is longevity pay, so the one that has more experience and more knowledge is going to get paid automatically a little more there, but they're going into a range where Larry has the ability to pay the one with more experience a higher level of that range, and the one with less experience a lower range. And well, that's what we expect of all the department heads, but that's for certain, I think, the case here. So the job descriptions of those two individuals are very, very similar because they may do the exact same things, work on the exact same project, but one guy's done plumbing for 10 years and one guy's just learning plumbing as he's on the job almost. So he's still doing it, but He's learning it, and so there's two different opportunities for those, the pay difference to be there. One is in the range, the other one is longevity pay.
Any further discussion?
So do we need to approve this job description, or
Yes, yep,
are you making that motion?
yep, I'll make a motion. that we approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Bob Kraft, we have a second by Rick Ring to approve this, maintenance officer job description. Now discussion, anybody, questions?
This, we're not setting wages on this today or anything, just change the job description, right?
Right.
This was after Larry's. Larry's job description was revised to encompass everything that the commissioners wanted to add. That one was adjusted, and then after that one was adjusted, his two employees, because they're working on projects the same, but they were in different, their job descriptions were much different. So now it's more uniform.
This'll fit both of their employees.
Yeah.
And any new employee that comes in, if one of them moves on, right?
Will fit the job description, yes.
Okay.
And the range is much broader. That way, if you have someone that's newer, they might be doing the same job, but the experience is,
But we have a range set.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Good questions, thanks, Bill.
Thank
Anything
you.
else? If not, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the job description for the maintenance officer signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Job description has been approved.
Now, Dave, I have another topic in this area. There is now a conflict between the job description for the chief or head of maintenance and Homeland Security, with a raise that the commissioners asked that we be put in. Apparently, while I was here but not here, I was out of the state, but we approved this job increase, this dollar amount increase back in January. It does not fit into the WIS study as to where it's at as far as the level and pay, and that has been brought to my attention and to Jim Miller's attention. I think it needs to be looked at, and I believe it needs to be done in an executive session, because we need to discuss it. And it does involve individuals, and it is pay. So I would suggest that we I think that waiting until the May meeting is probably going to be too late. I think we need to have an executive session of the full council to discuss these two job descriptions and the rate of pay between now and the end of the month.
Okay, we've done that before. Let's take a look at dates. This is something could be done during the day, could be done during the evening as an executive session there, so it doesn't have to be.
And she just needs, what, 3 days notice, or? Okay.
So, and I think Rick is correct there that we would need to do this by the end of the month here for the May meeting. So any particular dates that anybody has? And again, this could be an evening meeting.
April 31st.
That farm calendar again. Next week, the only evening next week would be Monday evening.
What about next?
Or Tuesday if it was after 6 o'clock.
Well, I'm open for suggestions, like I said.
I can't, if we're looking at the next few days, I can't do anything until Thursday. It's after tomorrow.
I can't do anything this week at all.
Yeah,
It has to
okay.
be next week.
So next week, and this is just me, I can't do anything till Thursday. Meetings.
I can't do Thursday. The week after that, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, if you're gonna do evening.
So that's the week of the 20th?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't do what, Rick?
I cannot do Wednesday or Thursday that week, so
Amy,
just
how's
Monday,
your
Tuesday.
schedule look? On the week of the 20th.
I could do the 21st.
Maybe the 21st, I can't do Monday.
Okay, 21st, I can do the 21st. Amy, Chris, Bill,
What day is it?
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
April.
evening, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, Tuesday,
Well, yeah,
Sooner the better.
6 o'clock.
fine with me.
Okay,
On
so
the
Susan,
21st?
if you want to advertise then, that's Tuesday, the 21st at 6 PM, executive session.
So, actually, we can, that'll just be us,
That's us.
state.
Well, and should we invite the commissioners in also? And we don't have to, I mean, we can,
Well, do you have to have one of them here to explain something to us, what we got ourselves into, or can you handle that?
it probably should have one of the commissioners if
If
possible.
we have concerns and it affects, we can hash it all out in one meeting together rather than going back and
Yeah,
forth.
it would be best that way.
I'd rather,
We'll have Dottie here.
Did Kellen leave already?
I think he's on the phone.
Oh, okay.
We'll have Rick, have Dottie here also,
Yes, Dottie should be here,
and Don, our attorney.
I suppose. Yeah, Don could be here.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'd really be necessary, but
No, but I think we should have.
yeah, fine.
So would you,
So if none of them can come on the 21st, are you still meeting?
Yeah, we might as well go ahead with it. I mean, you have 3 commissioners, we should be able to
And
get.
Dottie's aware of the situation, so she could explain it.
you have the whole council body?
Yes,
be here.
I mean, so you got 3 commissioners, should be able to get one here, and if Dottie can make it, that's fine. But we should be able to, you know, work, through it too.
Okay, so we're in agreement on that then. Tuesday, the 21st, April 21st, 6 PM here in these chambers. Do we have anything else? I'm not looking at Rick. Do we have anything else to come before the council?
I do have one more thing.
Oh, thank you.
I told you with Rick
And
here.
is
with
Kellen
Rick.
gonna come back in or not?
Chris, you better get faster.
9:45, Chris, you missed your cue.
All right, now, I know that I travel to a lot of meetings for the county. Commissioners passed a rule last meeting or meeting before about having this van that used to be stationed out at Sunny Meadows, that we now have to take that. I have absolutely no intention of ever using that van.
It's not a requirement.
The way that policy reads to me, it's a requirement.
It's not a requirement.
Okay, all right, so it's not mandatory that that be used, okay.
So you can get reimbursed if you drive your own vehicle? I thought it was mandatory, you can't get reimbursed for your own vehicle for mileage if you don't use that van.
See, that's the confusing part.
That's the way
of
I
that
read it,
salary.
Rick.
Yeah.
That's the way I read it.
If you don't use the county van, then you have to submit mileage.
Okay, and that's fine, that's what we've always done, that's,
Nothing
Fine.
has changed.
okay, very good. I meant to ask you that yesterday, and I missed out on that.
Give Kellen that date.
Yeah, Kellen, we're going to have an executive session Tuesday, April 21st, 6 PM in these chambers.
I'm emailing all of you right now.
Yes, Tuesday, 6 PM. Anything else?
I'm done.
Chris, start talking.
I have one thing to share. There's no comment on it. It's just one thing to share. My daughter texted it to me yesterday, and I think it just really resonates with all of us. It's a quote. And she says, "These aren't easy times to be alive, but they're amazing times to be of service." I just thought, in the loudness of the world, when she sent it to me, it just kind of resonated, and I thought, you know, maybe I think we all need to hear that at some point, so, for what it's worth.
At least something intelligent.
Hearing nothing more to come before the council, Chris, those famous words.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
And do we have, let's vote on that. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Opposed? We're good. We have one nay, but it doesn't count.